Hey, what's up guys, aarava here, and welcome back to a brand new video here today, and welcome to another F1 2020 gameplay. This time the gameplay is not provided by myself, it's provided by Codemasters, who uploaded a hot lap around the Monaco Grand Prix. Of course, this weekend would have been when the real-life Monaco Grand Prix would have gone ahead if it wasn't for the situation around the world, of course. So, in timing, Codemasters uploaded a lap around it in the AlphaTauri with Pierre Gasly. Now, it's the first time we're seeing Monaco in this game, because Monaco is not in the current press kind of preview build that I and other YouTubers and press have got. And speaking about that, I just want to note, you may not see any videos from myself or other creators for a little bit, because Codemasters have asked us to kindly stop uploading any videos right now as they update the build, and hopefully we'll be getting some different tracks. And potentially, I know all of you have been asking, where on earth is a lap from Hanoi, the Vietnam Grand Prix? For now, we weren't allowed to capture from that track, but hopefully the next time Codemasters update the preview build and give us the green light to record some more videos from that preview build, maybe Hanoi will be one of the tracks we can capture from. But for now, we've got the Monaco Grand Prix lap from Codemasters, so I'll let that play out for you naturally, just so if you haven't seen it, and then we're going to go in and kind of nitpick it a little bit and pick out what we can see that's different about the circuit, because there is some difference there that you can spot just for yourselves maybe while watching the video. So we switched over to a screen capture now. As you can clearly see, we've got the hot lap around Monaco, and so we're just going to go through this slowly and try and see what we can pick out straight away from this scenery, just looking at the entire track itself. Of course, this would be the intro menu where you would have the kind of screen that pops up to say this is the Monaco Grand Prix for career mode or Grand Prix mode or whatever. Straight away, the lighting looks a little bit different to what it was last year. I feel like it's a little bit less dramatic than it was in 2019, and it looks a bit more natural. It could also just be the time of day, remember though, as usually obviously you run on official, whereas this could be in time trial. It probably is in time trial, so this is at midday, so the lighting is a bit different there. One thing that I saw people in the comments below of this video on the Codemasters YouTube channel point out is they appear to have removed, or at least in this video, they've removed that odd shot of, I'm not going to say the word because it'll maybe get demonetized, but that rather weird orb-shaped thing in the middle at Casino, was it? I think, was it Casino? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think it was Casino. That very weird silver orb thing that is not there in real life, I'm pretty sure. They don't have that in the intros, so I don't know. Maybe they still got it in there, but it doesn't look like it for now. But as we come through the usual shots of the yachts and whatnot, and then come through to the track, and then here we go. This is where we get going. Just going to click play here, and we're going to pause it at certain times. So we go towards turn one, and straight away, we're going to pause it. So they've updated the sponsor boards, a little bit more realistic, and one thing I haven't noted so far in any of these gameplays is you'll see as we go on through, they have got the Heineken sponsoring around, and that's going to be the case at every single circuit now. Where they have Heineken, I haven't mentioned it ever in a video yet, because it's kind of something in passing that you don't really, it's not a major thing compared to the gameplay, but I guess in this video, it's may as well kind of say it finally. But yeah, it looks like they've now got a license basically to not have Heineken the word in the sponsoring, but they've at least got the Heineken messaging of, you know, when you drive, don't drink, and then it's got the green board, of course. So hopefully now all the tracks, i.e. Italy, what looked like Zandvoort as well. Here around Monaco, I'm trying to think of, I think Mexico also had a lot of that sponsoring as well. Every circuit in real life where basically it was like the Heineken sponsored Grand Prix because it had Heineken everywhere. At least this time on this game, it won't look so barren and so, well, just white and vanilla, because what they used to do for F1 2019 and all the previous games was replace those sponsor boards with just F1 20, you know, insert a number here, video game on a white board, basically. But now we're actually going to get that green sponsor board so it look a bit more realistic. Obviously, because you're flying past, racing AI, racing other people online, you're not going to really notice them properly, so it will look like a pretty realistic rendition of the circuits now. But as we go on into the apex of Turn 1, this is going to be a common theme of this entire track, and as I stated before when we did Hotlap videos in time trial of the preview build around the Hungarian Grand Prix, I feel like with Hungary, they have altered the Monaco Grand Prix. We know for sure they've altered properly and majorly the Spanish Grand Prix, because Sector 3 is completely different, and if you did watch that gameplay video of that Hotlap in Carlos Sainz's McLaren, you would have seen me kind of analyze that. That's a fully different kind of actual mapping of the circuit, but what I'm talking about in terms of subtle changes they've done, I feel like they've done in Hungary and here at Monaco, and what we'll see, I think probably around a lot of circuits on the calendar, is due to the real Formula 1 drivers playing F1 2019 lately and over the last kind of half year or so, going back to all the way to the Hungarian Grand Prix last year. I remember I think Lando Norris did a few laps with the new game then and gave some feedback to Codemasters, and all this feedback the drivers have been giving them is just basically, little pointers of where they've got it a little bit wrong. Not completely wrong, unlike Spain, where literally the drivers were like, this is nothing like in real life, like you need to change everything, this is nothing like it is. But I think they've given them pointers also, and they've taken on pointers of a lot of other circuits, maybe where drivers have said, this part of the circuit here is a little bit, narrower in real life or wider in real life. And so what you're going to see throughout this entire Monaco lap is, I feel like it is a little bit wider. Not a lot, just a little bit, because just from that kind of visual memory I have of going around Monaco, don't get me wrong, it could be the change of FOV, because I run a larger FOV on the F1 game than Codemasters record these videos in. I also run straight TCAM versus offset, so there is a massive pinch of salt, but I do feel like the general visual feeling of just, concentrating on the car versus where the curb is, where the wall is. Turn 1, slightly a little bit wider on the left-hander, also on the exit here, I feel like the wall is a little bit more left and not suck it in as much as it is on F1 2019, where it's so easy to clip that wall. And then we come through into Casino Square. If you'll notice here, you can't see where that sculpture is. So for those of you who want to go along with that meme of that being there in F1 2019, I cannot confirm if the weird silver orb thing is there or not. And then here, there's a bit more of a dip, I feel, as we go through right, and then it definitely opens up a bit more. For sure, this part to me has definitely been widened a little bit, because this looks way wider than it is in 2019. You're a lot less to the wall there on the left-hand side. Then we come through into Mirabur and the hairpin. This one a little bit harder to tell because we're in cockpit cam. I feel like this is all the same as F1 2019. Doesn't look any different apart from... no, I was going to say maybe the curb is a little bit different there, but I feel like that was there in F1 2019 from memory. And then we come through down the right-hander, all pretty much the same, I would say. Width-wise, all the same here. Even this chicane, I think that's pretty much the same. And then we come through to this right-hander. It's the same opening, but then the exit here, the curbing and the entire wall on the right-hand side, I feel like it's maybe been pushed right. So it's a combo of this curb's been flattened, because usually on F1 2019, you basically have to cut the curb on F1 2019 to not get jumped over and wobbled. And then the right-hand wall, it's so much closer to you, and you just basically are grazing it every time. But this, the person who's driven this lap has managed to not cut the curb that much, and managed to not even be anywhere near the wall on the right. Bit of snap of oversteer, as you would imagine, but nowhere near that wall. So again, I feel like they've widened that a little bit there on the right-hand side. Then we come through to Raskas, classic lock-up on the front right, as I always do. But hopefully that dive bomb will work just as well with the AI on F1 2020. And then we come through the last corner, nothing different there, I feel, and then we come across the line. So that is that of the Monaco Grand Prix. But like I said, in areas, not the entire circuit, just areas. And that's the same thing with the Hungarian Grand Prix. If you watch the video I did with the cockpit cam and the kind of rear view mirror at Hungary, I mentioned it wasn't the entirety of Hungary. It was just kind of Sector 2 to me as you went up the crest and then up the hill left. It just looked like it felt like the track to me driving it was wider. I would love to actually finally get my hands on the Monaco version of F1 2020 journey and play it myself. Because at Hungary, I was able to tell, you know, kind of actually physically with my muscle memory of the wheel and just kind of how close I was to curbs, that there definitely was a difference in the circuit. With Monaco, just visually now, it's hard to tell, obviously, but, you know, once we get our hands on it, we can definitely tell with muscle memory if it is wider or not. But good to see, you know, encouraging signs that they're taking that detail in. You know, Zandvoort's the new track in this game that has been kind of basically, not laser scanned, but they've got all the data from the lasering that Zandvoort and the government have done themselves on the circuit. So it's an entirely new way they've made Zandvoort, and hopefully that's the way they go forward and make the tracks on towards next gen when we move to PS5 and the Xbox X series, and, you know, obviously the latest version on PC. Hopefully that's how they go about making these circuits. They're looking to still fine tweak it, and they've really taken on the feedback on board from the F1 drivers, because I'm sure they're hoping that the F1 drivers will continue to, you know, maybe play the game occasionally when racing resumes, you know, in the off season, in the winter, they go back and maybe do some streaming and stuff and, you know, help promote the game in that kind of way. So I'm hoping, I think they think that if they try and make these changes, potentially try and make them a little bit happier, maybe if they ever play the F1 games in the future, because I know Codies are probably always quite hesitant and quite worried for a real-life Formula 1 driver to really slate the F1 game when they play it, so they definitely have taken the feedback not lightly on board, so good to see they've made that change. But this is your first look then at the Monaco Grand Prix, the Monaco circuit in F1 2020. Shame that so far we've not seen any gameplay against AI, which I really want to see. I don't know why. I have a feeling, hopefully a good feeling this is, that I think they're not wanting to show it because they're still tweaking it, and that potentially they've made some big improvements to really push the AI even more in terms of the racing they have. I hope that's the case and not the case of they're still fine-tuning it because they're doing a little bit of a, you know, they act a little bit stupid maybe in the preview builds that we've got so far. Hopefully that's not the case, and the case is they're, you know, still tweaking it, and it's a case of they want to wait for the right time to showcase maybe the improvements with the AI. Hopefully, that might just be wishful thinking, but obviously, as you guys know, if you watch me for a while, I love to be a positive thinker when it comes to the F1 games, but obviously that could just be me, you know, wishful thinking, basically. But if you guys did enjoy the video, then be sure to hit that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're around here, then do subscribe for weekly full-on content. I've been aarava. Hope you guys enjoy us today. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.